Hey, what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back again giving you that IK goodness. Gotta keep it Gucci up in here sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah, did I mean? No? Is anyone from the Yay area? You might get that. What is up? Today, for Infinity Kingdom, I would love to touch on what I think is a very important topic, and it may not necessarily be something that people, and I think players and even Kingdom servers will, most likely get to in the beginning. But I do want to touch on why I feel it is extremely important and really how it will be something that will play a huge factor into sustaining your Kingdom and server for a long time. Now, before we get started and dive into those particulars, as always, make sure you guys sub, like, ring that notification bell, and of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, you can find our Discord in the pinned comment or description below. So today, what I really want to touch on is culture. I think this is something that you often hear, right? For those of you that might follow sports, if you follow groups, any kind of communities out there, culture is very important, and the environment that you are building, for your server, your kingdom, is just as equally important as the people that are there, whether it's the contributing members, just the players, your officers, your leads, people that do server work, doing more than what just their in-game alliance work and their kind of day-to-day tasks and responsibilities are. Building a healthy culture, right, an ecosystem within your server or kingdom is something that is going to allow for you to sustain longer than others. Some examples of this could be, maybe you guys do, fun community ran events. An example, it could be maybe you guys do fun battle royales. You do like a last man standing kind of a thing for your kill events. Maybe you'll do kind of a Where's Waldo, right? Kind of like an egg hunt type thing where you have to find a certain player on the map. Maybe you're given a certain amount of time or you just tell everyone to go, and the first person to find them, maybe you'll give them like a king's gift. It could be doing something on your Discord where y'all are doing kind of like karaoke night. Maybe do like an anime watch party. Maybe do like a movie watch party. Maybe you guys will play games like Cards Against Humanity. There's card bots, right? Maybe you'll do things like that, right? That really engage your player base, right? Really gives people a reason to join your server more than just, hey, we're the number one server in the game. We have the number one alliance. We have the most Castle 40s, or we've won we've won and been able to hold Gnome Capital, which allowed for us to win all of our KVK so far, right? Eventually, you will come to find that there are quite a few servers and kingdoms as the game goes on, as more servers keep coming out, that a good amount of servers, if not maybe a lot of servers, may have similar recruiting characteristics, right? Recruiting language that they have, or just have similar stats that are going for them, right? And then sometimes you'll have to kind of start looking at what I would refer to as these X factors, right? What sets one server or a kingdom apart from another? And what I really feel is, hits that nail on the head is culture, right? Is your community that you are building to be more than just players that log in and communicate with each other, more than just us reading, right? Another example could be, does your server do town halls? Do you guys do meetings? Do you do not only with your player base, but do you do it with your management team? How much do you do? Do you do that just with your officers and your leaders? Right? Do you do kind of a third level where you maybe do like council meetings, right? Which is just kind of your your governing body, if you will, right? There's a lot of things. Will you guys do department meetings? For people that are participating in things like maybe recruitment, KVK information. Maybe you guys are doing data collection, for your intelligence departments. I mean, there's a maybe you guys have like a community or an internal affairs department where you guys handle community ran events within your kingdom or server. There's as much as these games can be extremely fun, and they are, there are some kingdoms and servers that, will go above and beyond, right? They'll do more than another will, and maybe some do less than. And, you can always find varying levels of success within a server or kingdom, right, with a completely different approach than another. And I just think it's really important that, right, eventually when starts getting to that point, right, and a little bit of that is happening now, right, with there being 130 or so odd servers that are out, where you will start seeing people kind of work in different recruiting points, selling points for their kingdom, and those are areas that will be attractive to players. Those are things that players will gravitate toward, because it's more, some players will want more out of it, right, than just going somewhere to play. They will want to go somewhere to be a part of a culture, right? And I think that if you are starting out in a kingdom or a server, that my belief has always been, right, when I approach building a kingdom, right, building a kingdom or server from the ground up, a lot of what I really believe in is trying to set that culture, set that direction as early as humanly possible, because that will just allow for you to, one, right, weed out the people that just don't really want to be a part of that, and that's fine. It allows for you to establish a direction early on that people can believe in, they can get behind, they can rally with you on. And that has always been, I think, a big motivator and morale booster for servers that I had done early on, right? Servers like 8, 36 had a little bit of that, but unfortunately, just because of the back and the back and forth of the warring, kind of made it difficult to really further implement at that point. And in 79 with the recent one, right? If you look at how those kingdoms and those servers were built from the beginning, a lot of what it came down to early on was establishing that culture, right? Bringing in people that already had those similar beliefs, and why there was so much unity early on. And that can be infectious, right? That can spread like wildfire, with the exception more like Care Bear hugs, right? We're just beaming out, lights from our belly buttons and or bellies in general, and we are just spreading that love, right? You are infecting people with your passion, right? With what you enjoy doing, and how much you really believe in where you are, right? And why you are here. And that's something that can gravitate people to you, right? You can rally a group of people in a server just from taking time to explain to them, hey, here's the pros and cons, here's some of the benefits of playing in this system, right? Taking time, informing and educating is such a big thing, because most players that come into new servers or kingdoms, for the most part, they're just coming in, wanting to play the kingdom builder. The majority population in any server or kingdom is always going to be new players. Not everyone is going to have, some kind of wealth of experience playing in multiple servers or kingdoms, playing even in other kingdom builders outside of IK. And so, these are really important that we, as people that are going in there with experience, are willing to extend that hand always and be a good resource, right, for people or players in this case. And so, again, culture to me, I think, is something that we always look to build as early as possible. And I think it's one of the reasons why, when I look at the kingdoms that I went in and kind of built and established the foundation for, to look at how they were always trending upwards, right? In arguably all metrics, when it came to overall server power, number of active players, right, number of Castle 40s, right, the potential that each of them had going into the first KVK, right. These are all consistencies, right? These are trends of, what that potential could have been, right, if that vision kind of kept going forward in that area, because of the culture, right, that was built early on, right, because the promises that were made to people, because players believed in those things, right, and they either became pro server, right, based on that direction, and were able to, I'm sure some, add on to be contributors, right? Because, the hope is that if people buy into what, I don't know if I want to say selling, because that sometimes might be able to come off not the most positive, right? But if they buy into the belief, right? If they really buy into the, what you're looking to shape the server in, that's how it can become so much more impactful. So anyways, that I think is it for me. Like I said, I wanted just to touch a little bit on culture because I think it is just really important, and I think it is going to be something over time that will start separating servers from others. And I really believe that if you can do it as early on as you possibly can, you will be in such a better position going into the long run. But let me know, if you are in a server, if you're playing in a kingdom, and you feel that your server or kingdom does certain things that are more than just, kind of being the standard kingdom, let me know in those comments down below. I would love to know what are some unique things that your server or your kingdom is doing that is trying to build a culture, trying to build a fun community outside of everything else that most servers and kingdoms are kind of doing on a day-to-day basis. I would love to hear from y'all. That is it from me. Until next time, we will catch y'all later.